Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, you heard 37. So, about that last episode, we made one big screw up. When I was trying to create a factory, I clicked construction. And that did not create a factory because I screwed up. This actually constructs a facility to build airplanes. You can bring airplane parts here and you can actually build airplanes. And this actually I didn't find that out until 10 days. Because it took 10 days to build this thing, and after the 10th day of waiting on this, I clicked on here and I could not figure out why there was no way to build anything, make any products, and it didn't even show up under factories. If you see here, the one in Jacksonville doesn't even show up. I was like, what the heck? So I found out that all we did was we created a place that can construct airplanes. To do a factory, you just come out of a factory and you open new. Like, I can't believe I didn't see that or didn't know that. So let's go ahead and we'll open this one up. All right, so we'll open this up down here in Jacksonville. Factory name, let's just name it like Jacksonville Factory. You can actually change the name anytime you want. So we'll make that Jacksonville Factory. Now, remember, for this, we want this really for these missions that we're going to do. And we need emergency housing. And so we need, was it plastics and building emergency? Well, we're going to, actually, I'll just do it this way. I'm going to click emergency housing. And let's do the one other emergency. I kind of thought we could do some of these emergency, but all three. But what we need is plastics. So let's just go with medical supplies because that seems kind of natural. That could be one of the other big missions, although emergency food could be too. And we can make plastics up in Huntington, but I thought maybe we should make it down here, because if we do it just with the Huntington one, we're going to have to keep on bringing that down. Take chemicals to Huntington, turn them into plastics, and then send them down here to Jacksonville. So let's just make them here, the plastics here in Jacksonville. So it's $150,000 for each one. Actually, just $20,000 for the plastics, I guess. So $320,000. So let's go ahead and open that. And that's one cool thing. It's immediate. You don't have to wait 10 days. By the way, I also found out when you're making bases, not factories, just bases, you can pick up building materials and take them to where you're going to build your base. And it'll actually build your base a little bit quicker. Not insanely quicker, but like it'll shave like hours and stuff off that, depending on how much you bring. All right, so now we've got our factory. Let's take a look at this real quick, because I should have looked at one thing. All right, so we make plastics, building materials, and medicines. What is that? Building materials, medicines, chemicals. Oh, that's what it requires. Sorry. We produce emergency housing, emergency medical supplies. That's why the medicines. And plastics. And if you remember, we need emergency housing. So if we go over here to the commodity stocks, let's click on one. Actually, let's go over, where do we, I can't even remember where to go to find this items right here. So emergency housing requires the plastics and the building materials. So that's what we need. Plastics is tier 2, like I said, so we can bring chemicals to Jacksonville. It'll make the plastics. And then we need the building materials as well. So building materials right here. And one thing I think I missed last time, I said if it's green, I think I said it's actually cheaper at that area. It's actually the opposite. If it's green like that, you can see it's actually more from the current airport, like we're at KVLD, or we've got that clicked. So it's obviously 44 there, so it's 45 at Tallahassee, so it's more expensive. If it's red, it's either the same or cheaper. And as you can see, it's got like the numbers beside it to see. All right, so we need building materials, and the cheapest I've already checked is down here at Larkin at Palatka. All right, 48. Let's go to building materials. You can get them for 38. There's one around here somewhere. I'm almost thinking it was that one. Maybe they've changed the prices, because just a little bit ago. No, that's right. I think that is true. They're both of these from Jacksonville are both 50 miles. So I was thinking, does it make sense to go a little bit further, but actually it's not further. So the 38 is the best price that we're going to get. So that's where we're going to go, to 28J. All right, so here at Jacksonville, I was going to fly this earlier. The wind has changed, so I've got to change some things. We're going to take off because you can see the wind coming from the southeast. So we're going to take off on runway, I think I've got that as 14, but I believe that's actually, is that right? Yeah, it is 14. It's a heading of 137 degrees. And finally, the wind is flipped around. See, earlier it was coming from the west, which is different from everything else. Down here at Larkin, we'll say that the wind is also coming from like the east, because that's where it is basically mainly for everything else. So we'll come down here, get into the traffic pattern, land on runway 9, which is a heading of 093 degrees. Airport elevation is 46 feet. Now, we should also show something else about bases. Each base that you go to, you automatically have 5,000 pounds of storage at every single base, no matter what. Now, since we're down here at Jacksonville, we want to increase our storage because we're going to have a bunch of stuff here, a bunch of chemicals and stuff like that. So we need more capacity. And so I'm just going to increase this from 5,000. I'm sorry. Current capacity 50,000. Huh. I thought it was 5,000. Capacity 5,000. It says current capacity 50. No, it does say 5,000. I can't read. I don't know why. Oh, I just want to make this, if I can do it this way, actually. 50. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so it'll cost us 61 grand. So let's increase that. Alright, so now we've got 50,000. I couldn't read all the zeros. Alright, so let's check out our planes here, because we got stuff, I think, on both planes. This one's at Jacksonville. This is the one we flew down. And I can't remember if we dropped that off or not. No, so we've got building supplies there, 300 pounds worth. So let's go ahead and unload that. You can see we did drop off, Caitlin dropped off the chemicals there. So we can make plastics. Now she's over here at KOCF. I wish see, that's where I thought that stuff was cheapest. But it's not. Well, we'll go ahead, since she's already there, it only makes sense to go ahead and buy stuff there. So there's no chemicals, so we must have just sent her there for building material. It's 38 there as well, so actually that's pretty good. And that's 28J. Come on now. Where is she? She is at KOCF. So we gotta find KOCF. I don't even know where KOCF is. Draw airports. May bring up a ton though. I'm a little worried about that. That did good. KOCF, there she is. So KOCF, there's no chemicals there, so we must have sent her there for building materials. And it's 38 there, so it's actually pretty good. So 2940, how much can she carry? Available 291. So let's make sure she just buys, what, 291 more? Alright, so the max that she can buy is right there is 291. Delivered to the 2, that is correct, obviously. Alright, now we need to get her to fly that over to Jacksonville, so we'll be able to drop that off. KJAX. There we go. And she's going to go on over Jacksonville. I'd like to see, I can't remember what commodities they have. Alright, so we got to find how to get Jacksonville back up here. Because that is not Jacksonville. So now we got to like click through these to find Jacksonville. Beef, do they have that? Yep. So now we can find what they have. And they do have chemicals, so that can we just buy chemicals there, I guess? So that'll be good. Buy max. Chemicals. See, so what if we did, like, we gotta check one thing out. Alright, so to make housing we need 1 plastics and 2 building materials. Plastics need 2 chemicals to make 1 of that. Emergency medical supply. Alright. So we need 1 plastics and 2 building materials. So I'll tell you what, we'll just buy... I'm not going to buy the max though. We'll buy... What do you figure, like 10,000? Let's just go with 10,000 for right now. Let's buy double that, 25. So that's going to cost us 275 grand to the base storage area. Let's go ahead and buy that. And tell you what, let's just go over to the factory real quick. We can get them processing. Alright, emergency housing. No, we want to make plastics. Quantity. So how much do we have? 20,000? So we can create 10,000, I guess. £10,000 of plastic. So there it goes. And then when we bring in the building supplies, we'll need about 10,000, I think. What would we say it was? We'll have plastics, and we need twice as many building materials. So we'll have 10,000 pounds of plastics, and we'll need 20,000 pounds of building materials to start making emergency housing, and we can start flying stuff there to St. Martin and Mexico City. Wow, that seems like it took forever to get all that straightened out. Alright, so now let's fly to 28J ourselves. Got the Chieftain. We're going to fly this ourselves to 28J. There we go. Alright, we're not going to load anything. We've got enough fuel to go 253 miles. It's only 50, so we're good to go there. Let's switch this over to VFR. Let's just go to like 6,500 at the most. I mean, it's only 50 miles. Knock down this time a little bit. And we did fly the plane there, so last position is okay. So with that, I need to check one thing. I've been having troubles with this mic, and last time it actually shut off in the middle. Alright, so everything looks good so far. Let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. Alright everybody, here we are at the plane down here in Jacksonville. I've got the procedures for startup. I think what we should start doing this is the same thing I do with the Caravan. Just start it up and we'll come back at the taxi. That's what I should start doing. Like next episode or something, because I hope this doesn't take too long. But it's been about 14 days or so since I've flown last, because I had to wait 10 just for this thing to finish up with the building the wrong thing, and then I had to wait till I had a good time off of work to actually get to flying. But we'll go ahead and do this. Let's see, fuel selectors, I want them both inboard. Alright, crossfeed is off. Fuel firewall shutoffs are both on. Or wait, yeah, firewall shutoffs on. Alternate air off is pushed in. Circuit breakers, we'll say that those are all checked and good. Electrical switches, everything should be off. Alternator circuit breaker switches on. I believe that is these down here. Let me just make sure, because it could be that other red switch down there. I guess there's no good view for that. So those are alternators, but I'm thinking it was these other two switches down here. So I just want to make sure. Alternator circuit breakers. Alright, so I am right there. So those are both on. Avionics switches off, and the master switch is off there as well. Alternate static source is off. Right there. I don't think, like I said, I don't think you can actually even mess with that. And let's go back up top. Mixtures are an idle cutoff. Alright, so a master switch can come on. So that's the battery. It says master switch here, but like that's not clickable either, so I'm guessing it's just talking about that, and I'm not really too sure. Cowling flaps, let's go ahead and open those. Sorry about switching around these views. There we go. Can never remember how to do it. So the cowling flaps are open. Landing gear with 3 green. Annunciator panel, press the test. Again, I went over this before. I'm pretty sure that's it, so we'll just test it. Alternator in-op lights are both on. Pneumatic source malfunction lights are both on. Door ajar lights are out. Boost pump and fuel flow lights checked. We do have those, I believe, as well. Emergency fuel pumps are off. Those are up here. You can hear them when they're on. So those are off. Prop sync, it's supposed to be off. Like I said, we never actually know what the hell that is. And autopilot flight director switch is off. Seatbelts, a no smoking sign. Let's see if I can even find those. Here you go. Seatbelts, no smoking. Those are both on. Alright, so engine start. Normal start. By the way, let's make sure that we have our parking brake on. It is. Alright. Master switch is off when using the APU. We're not using the APU, so we don't have to worry about that. Throttle. Let's go for the left engine first. Open about a ½ inch. Prop control, full forward. Mag switches. We can go ahead and turn on. And it doesn't say anything about the fuel pumps. It says this up for 6 seconds. 4, 5, 6. Then idle cutoff. Let's check that everybody is out of the way. Prop is clear. Let's give her a little bit of fuel here. And go for the left engine start. Increase that up. Alright, so the mixture is checked. Oil and fuel pressure. Let's go over here. If I remember, it takes a little bit for this one to come up. There's cylinder heat, temperature. Alright, so oil, it looks good. Fuel pressure, we have pressure there as well on the left engine, so that looks good. Alternator in-op light on the left has come off. Pneumatic malfunction light out. I don't think that actually has come. Let's see. See, left engine, left alternator in-op is still actually on. And it's supposed to be out. Pneumatic one is out. Left. But that's because, switch over here though. Because it didn't tell us to turn that on. So if we turn that on, yeah, it went out. So it doesn't actually tell you to turn that on. Maybe when it says master switch, maybe you should do both of them. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Alright, so let's go for the right engine throttle. Let's say a ½ inch right there. Prop control, full forward. Mag switches. Right engine, come on. Full forward is 6 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6. But you have to give her open to get the fuel. And start. I'll take that up here. Alright, so let's check our gauges here for the right engine. We have oil pressure there. And fuel pressure on the right as well. Alternator light has gone out. Pneumatic malfunction light is out. Now it says gear handle, hydraulic check to turn it off, but as we discovered last time, you actually cannot do that. Alright, so everything looks good there. Let me adjust my throttles here with my joystick. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and lean these out because I do believe that you can do that. All on the ground. Doesn't really tell you to do that. But they're not turbine engines, so I believe that you can. Alright, we don't have to worry about the hot start. We don't have to worry about the flooded start. Before taxing, APU removed. We don't have that. Master switch is on. Lights is required. It would have been nice to have that on before. Anti-collision, and we had the discussion about the position lights as well. I want to go just put it on beacon right there. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not totally sure. Lights, heater, air conditioner as required. We just leave it alone. Avionics switches. Let's go ahead and turn this master switch on. There's altimeter. I'm going to go ahead and adjust the altimeter, like just by clicking the button. Autopilot. We're not going to check it. It is off. All right. Let's get all this set up right real quick. All right, message is off. Let me cycle through these because I got to remember which one it is. Bring that over. That is 2. That is the one we want. Sweet. What was that? 5. For autopilot, let's bring that over here. We got that set up. See, that's the thing I hate about the pop-up. Why doesn't the pop-up stay off like the one in the dash or whatever in the panel? Alright, so that's good right there. And 5. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll set the heading for takeoff. That's 137. And you gotta remember how to do that. By the way, CDI. Let's make sure it's in GPS. That looks good. Is in GPS. Alright, so heading 137. So it's moving in increments of 10, and I can never remember how do we fix that. I hate you, you stupid, stupid thing. It just doesn't make sense why it does that. I hate that. 137, there we go. It's like you gotta click it a bunch of times to make it go only move by 1. I love how it says the alert is inside airspace. Yeah, I'm at the airport. So of course I'm inside airspace. Alright, so lights is required, heating, air condition, altimeter and clock, autopilot. Looks like we've done everything. Parking brake off. Taxing, brakes, we'll check those, and the flight instruments, everything. Alright. So let's turn our taxi light on. And let's go find our runway. Which I believe is on down here. See, they're probably still using this one, unless he's coming in. They're using that one regardless. Parking brake is off. I guess he's probably taxiing down to this end for takeoff. So maybe that's the more correct. I think they normally use that one anyway. No matter the wind or anything. Because I think they were using that one last time. Actually, he's taxiing in, so he might be coming in the other direction. I can't really tell with that guy. I think we had a hard time telling last time. So, I guess we'll just taxi on around these buildings. That's probably the quickest way to get to the runway. I guess we'll take this taxiway right here. Because see, the main terminal is over there as well. So I guess taxiing over here gets you away from that. So I guess that guy has just landed because he's taxiing over this way. But yeah, that seems to be the main runway they seem to always want to use. And I'm guessing that the runway is over on this side because I haven't been here a ton, but as I remember, This is where the runway is. I'm just thinking, do I want to taxi down there? Can we pick up the runway down here? I think we'll just go down to the left. Because that's the terminal. I know we can get to the runway from there. I think we probably could have taxied straight on down. I think that does take you to the other runway, because I think they intersect down there, maybe? But that's alright. Like I said, we should be able to get there from here. Come on, fire truck. You're supposed to save people's lives, not get into collisions. It's weird how they only notice you when you get up close. Alright, so, by the way, for the, just in case I remember that, forget that, transponder 1200. And turn to standby. I don't think we want that taxiway. I think that might only take you up to that other runway. Kind of just going blind here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't want to get going too fast. Because see, I don't want to end up with too little runway and have to taxi on down to get more. I'm afraid we may have done that. I don't know. I say we don't use. I've never been to this airport enough, probably. We've got a telehandler down here. Yeah, see, I'd like to be over there. It's kind of cool. The 787, which I have now, just came out this week. It supposedly has an electronic flight bag. It did not work when I did like one little test flight, and I couldn't get it to work, although it was at a smaller airport. I think it was at Huntington. They actually, I guess, can show it kind of like Ailosoft electronic flight bag can actually show you like where to taxi and stuff. It's really, really cool if it actually works. So I'm gonna go on down here. I just hope we have enough runway down there so we don't have to taxi any to pick up more. Because I think most of the runway is actually behind us now. Get this thing up there. This is just a position flight, but I still wanted to show it. To show exactly what all we're doing. I just can't believe I accidentally created an aircraft building facility and wasted 10 days waiting for it. Just to find out, oops, that's not what we wanted. Actually kind of sucks. Really bad. Lost a lot of good time. So, this runway up ahead. Let's go ahead and check outside real quick. See, do we need to taxi down to the right to get more runway or not? Let's find the end of the runway. End of the runway is right there, so we're going to need more. We'll have to taxi on down here. That's a little bit what I was afraid of. It's a little bit of a pain to get this thing moving, it seems. Yep, not enough runway, so we'll taxi on down to the right. And get some more. I kind of wish I hadn't almost checked the weather again, because the weather we were actually using the other runway. It would have been a lot quicker. And hopefully by the time we get back, yeah, she'll be back, because Caitlin only has to do flight to Jacksonville. We gotta fly out to this airport that we're going to, Lifkin or whatever, and then we gotta fly back. So she'll be there, and so we'll be able to start making some stuff. And the only thing is work, man. I got 6 days straight starting tomorrow, so I'm not gonna have a ton of time. I'll have to maybe Saturday night, but we got football and stuff. I'll hopefully have some time where I can actually do a mission down to St. Martin before Caitlin starts sick and stuff. Remember, we don't make any money off the missions, which kind of sucks. It's just like a humanitarian thing to do. You do get your rep, though. Because mission rep, it is in there, and this is the first time they've had missions available. So our mission rep is all the way down as low as it can be, since we haven't been able to do any. So this will kind of help with that. Alright. Head up the runway over here. Should be able to get up in the air from over here. 32 and a 14. Alright, let's stop right here. Now, before takeoff, we're not going to do the run-up, because as we've discovered, you can't do the run-up in here. The brakes won't hold it for some reason. Let's see, seatbelts, no smoking signs. They're both on. Alright, inboard. Inboard. But doesn't that... Alright, so it's 53 or something? Alright. So that's good there. Fuel quantity. By the way, let's remove that. I can't even remember where the fuel quantity gauge is. It's not that, is it? That's fuel pressure. Alright, so fuel, half and half. That's where it is. So that looks good. Mixtures and props, both full forward. Flaps checked and set 0 for normal, 15 for short field. So let's go ahead out and back in. For 0, surface de-ice off. And we can't check that very well, huh? Surface de-ice off. Let's go ahead and prop anti-ice on. Prop heat, actually not prop de-ice, just prop heat. Pitot heat. Left windshield heat, and there isn't one for right. I never noticed that. So that's good. Avionics as required. I'm going to go ahead and turn the transponder on. It's required. Radar as desired. Direction indicator set. By the way, can we just turn that on for flight director? I'll leave it off. Alright, let's check our flight controls. Everything looks good there. Rudder pedals, looks like everything's good. Now it says emergency fuel pumps. I'm going to guess again that these are the emergency fuel pumps and not the regular fuel pumps. If it even has regular fuel pumps. Because it doesn't say emergency, it just says fuel pumps. But I don't see any other fuel pumps anywhere around. I'm going to turn the fans on. Restart fans. Go. Prop sync off. We can't find it, so it's all good. Alright, so landing lights. Let's go ahead and turn those on. Recognition beacon. I'm just going to put this to on down here. Because I can't... I'm not sure which you really want that for. Alright, brakes, apply and hold, mixtures full forward, props full forward. This is for the normal takeoff. Manifold pressure will be 43 max, normal static sea level center temperature. Prop speed 2575, rotate at 85 knots. Alright, and then we'll have to check it again. Once we take off, let's see what we need to be for the climb. Alright, parking brake is off. I'm going to come out here to the right, just so we can get as much runway as possible. You see those lights coming off as They go up and down on the power. They go off as we increase the power. Alright, holding the brakes. There you go. Alright, off the brakes. Although we were moving before, obviously, because we had that problem. 85 knots. We'll go ahead and rotate. Man, that thing gets up to speed quick, doesn't it? Positive rate, gears coming up. We don't have flaps. It actually says 104 is our climb speed, so I'm going to bring this nose up. It seems like we're climbing quite aggressively. Trim her down a little bit here. Alright, so let's bring the power back to 40. I'm going to make sure that that is 40. Yeah, 39.3, so that's good right there. And we need our props to be down to about 2400 RPM. I hate doing it that way. That is not what I wanted. Because I remember we have to come down pretty good on these. So there's at 80%. It's still at 2450-ish. And there we're pretty good right there at 2400. See, that's already, what, 85%? 75%. Alright, cowl flaps as required. I'll leave them on for right now. Emergency fuel pumps can come off. Air conditioner as desired. Seatbelts, oxygen, no smoking on. Oxygen as required. Alright, mixture 30 gallons per hour, 475 CHT max, 1500 max on the EGT. I can't remember exactly which one is the EGT. If that's the EGT, so it said 1500 max. Looks like we're below that. We're less than 1200. All right, flight director. By the way, we've never really looked at this whole area. We've never really been to the south. We usually come to the north. I'm not sure where downtown Jacksonville exactly is. I know it's to the south just because of the map. This would look like this is it. Maybe more over here. This kind of looks like an industrial area with shipping and stuff. Autopilot. Heading, and I'm going to switch it over to nav. Vertical speed. Let's climb at 700 feet a minute. We're almost all the way up to 6,500 feet, by the way. Let's go ahead and bring the power down as well. Save us a little bit on fuel. Maybe this is actually the downtown area right there, the main part of the downtown. Yeah, it's probably it. Maybe we can take a look out here for a second. We're about to get to our cruising altitude of 6,500. So I don't want to spend too much time looking down here. So 1500 max, we need to go ahead and bring that up a lot, probably. 6400. Check that out here in a second. We're almost up to 6500. Remember, we got to hit that twice, I believe. Screwed that up before. 6500 right there. And she'll bring it down. I'm not sure if she'll hold there or not. If she'll go back down to 6,500 or just... I can't really tell. 1143, so we're still well below the 1,500. I don't know if this will tell me per hour. It just tells me the pressure. It did go back to 6,500, by the way. So let's check over here. I can't remember exactly where fuel flow is. So there's the pressure, oil pressure, cylinder head temperature, oil temperature. It doesn't tell me anything about the fuel flow. Fuel flow, that's what we should have been looking at. See, we're at 22.5. Which seems good to me. It says, what, 30 max? Minimum 30 gallons per hour. And we're done at 22.5. It never seems to be what it's asking for, though. Cylinder head 283. Because I'm thinking about the cow flaps. I don't know if we should. It doesn't actually give a max temperature for them. Well, actually, it does 475. 281. We're well below it. Close the cowl flaps. Alright, let's take a look at the GPS here. We're just 34 miles out. I'd like to get my heading line here. Track 186. Looks like it's finally moving in 1 degree. I was going to say 1 degree intervals. Alright, there's 186. Because I believe what I have written down, we should come in about 228 degrees. Then go 273 for the downwind, 183 for the base, and then 093 is the heading of the runway. So 228. So we'll need to actually come out to the left here. So if I bring this out a little bit, I want to go left too much, and we'll switch this over to heading. And we'll need to get down to about 1,000 feet. About 5,500 feet, and we're 30 out, so we probably pretty much need to start that out pretty soon. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the power. I will take that off. Let's see if we can get vertical speed to hold us. Bringing down the power. We are descending. I'm not sure. It looks like we're descending at the 300 feet a minute. 28 miles out. You can see we are deviating like we wanted to the left. Because like I said, we'll come in at 228. Or at least try to come into 228. I hate you, map. I don't know why you can't just stay where I put you. And I want to look through the procedures a little more here. Descent, mixtures, minimum 1350 on the EGT. We're only at 966, so we're like above the EGT. Is that what it's saying? Fuel selectors inboard. We haven't messed with those, so that's good. Power as required. Oxygen below 10,000 feet. Pitot and windshield heat as required. We have those both on still. So this thing wants our EGT above 1350. But, I mean, that's another 400 degrees. That's another 50%. So I don't quite understand that. That would mean leaning the fuel out even more. "24 miles out. Might have to speed up our descent." I would love to do that. Sometimes we just come in too soon and then we end up flying like 1,000 feet for a while. It's not really what we want. So prop controls will still be at 2,400 on landings, so we're going to leave the props right where they are. It's not one of those full forward for whatever reason. We can put the gear down when we're below 153. We're actually right there right now. I'm obviously not going to put the gear down. And we'll need to put the emergency fuel pumps on. That's before landing, not on the descent. "22 miles out now. We got about 4,700 feet to go. We'll put that at 400 feet a minute. Reset my altimeter. I hate alerts. I don't know why. It's just like I hate the messages on the GPS. Obviously, no ILS or localizer or anything. This airport, 20 miles out. I'm going to move that to 500 feet a minute. Lights are still on. Taxi lights, landing lights, strobe lights. That's kind of weird. You have windshield heat for the left but not the right. It's kind of weird. As if the co-pilot doesn't matter. Got a little over 4,000 feet to go. 18 miles to get there. This little airport up there to the left. Like I said, 228. You can see that's where we'll come in. That's probably our runway right there, because that is the bigger runway. Just under 6,000 feet. Can't actually see it up in here unless that's it right there. We'll put that at 700 feet a minute. And bring back the power. That might actually be it, although it looks a little too... looks closer to the 16 miles. And it should be off to our right a little more. Got all kinds of weird mess ups here over there. I'm thinking that would be it. Or over here, I can't really tell. 15 miles out. Increasing the power a little bit more. I'm thinking that's it. But it seems like it should be off to the right even more, but I can't really tell. Let's go out to the left a little more. Like I said, we wanted 228 to come in. We get into the pattern. Unless that's it right there. Oh, there's a whole bunch of runways around here. Those are, I guess, coal plants or nuclear plants. I think it's the nuclear ones. Always I get that. I don't know why. The cooling towers. Always messed up with the cooling towers. 900 feet a minute. Pulling back on the power. $4,000, so we got about 3,000 feet to descend and 13 miles. We should be alright. All said and done. I'm just looking for the airport. It seems like we should be further to the left if that's it. Not that it's going to be a huge deal. I don't really see what else would be the airport unless it's that right there. Alright, so I'm going to descend a little bit quicker. That's kind of looking like an airport now. Because technically, when we get a mile away, we want to be down at about 1,000 feet. So we got about 2,000 to descend. But we're still 10 miles out. Should be good. Yeah, that's gotta be it over there. Nine miles out, about just over 1,600 feet to go. We'll probably ease up a little bit. Add just a little bit of power. Yeah, always the cooling towers. I don't know if that happens to everyone or just me. Is that it over there? That's got to be it over there. Increasing my power. Yeah, it's got to be over there. So we're probably more left than we really need to be. Now that they're still doing it. Go one more. $700 feet to go right now. Actually, I want to be at 1,000. Can't be real exact. 700 feet a minute. I believe that's going to be our runway right there. We're going to have like to turn and get our altitude straightened out at like the same time. I hate that. Right when things come together. Alright, hold our altitude right there. I'm going to turn on the fuel pumps. Sure, I'll leave these both up. I kind of need them. Just go ahead and put the gear down. I'm not sure if you need to do that before the downwind or not. Let's start to come in here. Probably could have held out a little bit longer before you really need to come in here. $228. Actually, perhaps we needed to come in a little sooner. Alright, and our downwind is 273. Reset my altimeter just in case. $273. Let's bring down the power just a little bit. A mile away. There should be just got weird, like a little runway. Like, what is the point of that? For like, not gliders, but like if you want to ride a trike, fly a trike or something. $273. There, we're good. Feels like we might have gotten down a little soon. Or, I mean, that we got a little close here. Because see, now it actually says we're 0 miles instead of 1 mile away. So yeah, we're a little close. Gonna go ahead and put flaps out 1 notch. Bring our speed down. We're under 100 knots now. Alright, we're past the runway. Let's go. We obviously need to go out a little bit further. And we're not going to do the base leg because we're close, which is 183. We'll just do a turn and we'll go 093. So I'm going to turn the heading off. Zero 93. Autopilot off. Man, that was loud. Wrong button. Reset my views. I'm gonna bring down the power just a little bit, not too much, because you can see our speed is already down to 91 knots. We do need to get down. I'm going to bring down the power a little more. Let's see how far out we went. We'll have to probably come around to the left a little more. Yeah, you can see that. Because we were so daggone close coming in. Alright, going to full flaps. It says we're still a little high. Alright, bringing down the power just a little bit more. I get a little worried about our speed when our speed is so low. So pitch her down a little more. Feels like we're kind of getting blown around a little bit. Oh, there's that gust that's back from Opus doing that. Thank you, Opus. I don't know why that seems to happen so much. Really blowing us around. Alright, flyer down to the ground. Really getting some ground gremlins there. We're going a little long. There we go. Says it was smooth. No need to use the brakes. See a taxiway down here. Very nice. Now we'll get on the brakes a little bit. Tracking the flaps. I'm not sure. Alright, so there's the buildings to taxi to. I wasn't sure exactly where we needed to go. Man, I forgot to record that. I think we can use the instant replay and save it. Fuel pumps can go off, I'm sure. As can the landing lights. Put that back. Alright. Let's clear the runway. Cowl flaps need to be open. I think we close them. Yeah, so we'll open those back up. Wing flaps are up, or fuel pumps are off. Heater switch shift used to fan. Prop controls full forward. Strobes are off. Well, that looks good. Let me just check something real quick. Oh, I did record it. Sweet. Thought I had forgotten to hit the button. By the way, what is... Okay, so those come off. Alright, everything looks clear. Let's run across this runway. Transponder off. You see, we landed perfectly with the wind, according to that windsock. That's always nice. To be confirmed, because it seems like so many times it's not. It's a little different from the information we already had. Parking area right there. This will go to. Yeah, landing was a little long, but it did say we were high there for a while too. Like I said, I guess you're supposed to fly it down to the ground so you don't just get off the power and float it down. I don't know if that's one reason it takes longer to land, or just also see you're coming in quicker as well, like a 172 or something. All right. All right. We'll park her right here. Let me get rid of this. Parking brake coming on. Parking brake is on. Avionics. Let's go ahead and shut the avionics off. Autopilot flight director is off. Throttles are at idle. It says mag grounding checked. I don't know exactly what that means. And that's the end of the procedures. That's kind of weird. It just says mag grounding and then it's like nothing. Alright, so let me get rid of these procedures real quick. I thought that surely there was more. Maybe we just forgot it or something. I don't know, that's kind of weird. Alright, so let's turn all this off. Let's turn all the anti-ice stuff off. That's all good. Fuel pumps are off. Bring these all the way back to feather. Cut the fuel. Mags off. All the lights off as well. Alternator circuit breakers. Alternator switch up there. And master switch all off. Let's go over to air hauler 2. There we go. Finish the flight monitoring. Well, I guess we could have gone to cargo loading. Alright, so took us 23 minutes, seemed a lot longer than that. Took up at 3:45, landed at 4:08, takeoff fuel 324 pounds, touchdown with 254 pounds, max altitude 6,511 feet, max pitch net of 12.65, max roll 27.72, max speed was 172.8 knots, minimum G's 0.89, minimum G exceeded 0, max G's 1.26, max G's exceeded 0. Stall false, overspeed false, landing description smooth, gear touchdown true, landing surface asphalt, no damage to the surface, the runway, no damage to the plane, came down 121.39 feet a minute, landing speed is 66.9 knots, landing pitch negative 2.89, landing roll negative 1.19, landing heading 90.89, alright, landing wind speed 4, landing wind direction 1. Not really according to that windsock and everything. Alright, so let's go ahead real quick and load this back up. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, you gotta come over here, commodity stocks. Where we be? There we are, 28J. We're here for building materials. at $38 a pound. Max we can buy is $630, which seems odd because we don't have that much fuel. And she was able to buy a whole lot more than we could. Why? That's the same plane. Available 3,271. Oh, maybe she wasn't here. So I guess that's all they have. Well, that sucks. That's literally all they have. I came in for 630 pounds. It doesn't say how much they have in stock, does it? Because it says the max is listed right there. That kind of sucks. Let's buy them. I wish I could have gotten thousands of pounds. Would have been nice. All right, so let's just make sure our plane is loaded up. 630 pounds of materials. She's still listed at KOCF. That's right. But she'll be there in 5 minutes back at Jacksonville. And we need to be back on our way to Jacksonville. So I'll replay the landing real quick and make sure everything's good with the mic and everything. And then we'll go ahead and take off. And when I come back, I guess we'll do this maybe. Show this getting set up, and then we'll cut, and I'll do the startup on my own, and we'll just do the taxi. And so let's show the replay right, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, it's time for the return flight down here at 28J in Palatka. By the way, I was able to get that plane full. I'll show you that it's full here. So it is full, 3,271 for the building materials. Down here, building materials at 28J. You just keep clicking buy. I don't know why it limits you, says 630, but then you can just keep buying and buying and buying. So I'm not quite sure what that was all about. By the way, we might have to do some like buying and selling of commodities. We did that before. We might have to do that again just to make some money back. Like, this is really costing us some money right now doing all this. Although I think the biggest was, well, I screwed up by building that, and then the factory cost us a little bit. But, I mean, you can make a lot of money. If you sell over here at $7, you get $7 a pound. We have 3,271. So if we did that again and then sold them at a $7 profit, I mean, you get almost 23 grand out of that. So I might have to have Caitlin do that or something to make us some money. In fact, she could go to 28J right now. In fact, let's get her to unload this. She should be back. All right, building materials. I have her unload that. Base storage, absolutely. And what I'll have her do, let's go ahead, let her go on down to 28J. Yeah, she can fly on down. And now I'll have her go up to where, well, I think it was Valdosta, wherever that was. It was actually closer to Tallahassee or something. Building materials, yeah, Tallahassee. Make 7 unless there's something closer. She can make 6 over here. Oh, you can make 10 over here at Melbourne. Yeah, that's where I'll have her go, because that's so much closer. Look, so much closer. Alright, so anyhow, because 10 plus 10, that'd be 32,000. Daggone. Alright, so anyhow, let's check ours. The wind has changed over here at Jacksonville, so we'll be on that main runway. Okay, so over here at Larkin, was it Palatka or something like that? I guess is the name of the town or whatever. The wind is still coming from the east. We take off on runway 9, heading 093. And at Jacksonville, it's not coming from the east. We're going to land on runway 8 here, heading of 077 degrees. Airport elevation about 30 feet. And since it's a big towered airport and everything, instead of doing the pattern like usual, we'll just come over here and just come straight on in. on like the ILS or something. And so that handles that. It looks like it might be cloudy over there. I don't know if the weather's turning bad or what. Anyhow, let's go ahead. We've got our plane loaded up, so let's come over here to our fleet and planes at the same time. Position is aircraft. Not AI. Sorry. Self. KJAX. There we go. Jacksonville International. We're full of building supplies. We have range for 194. Of course, it's only 50, so that's good right there. And VFR, again, I'll take this like 6,500 feet. Move the time down a little again. Last position, because we flew it there. And so, like I said in the last one, I think I'll change how I do this. I'm going to go ahead and start up on my own and cut all that crap out. And then we'll just start on from the taxi so we don't have to take time, everybody watching, you know, the startup and everything. So that looks like everything should be good. Let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. Alright everybody, we're back and we're in the plane. Everything is started up. We're good to taxi. I'm messing with these lights. I can't figure it out. Like, if you hit anti-collision, that actually turns on the beacon, but it also turns on the strobes, right? The beacon and the strobes. I don't get it. And yet, when I turn this, either direction I turn that on, it doesn't seem to make any difference. It's very confusing. I'm going to turn anti-collision because that's apparently the strobes, but it turns off the beacon as well. Totally confused about that. Anyhow, let's go ahead. There's some altimeter taxi light coming on. Alright. Let's go ahead and get on out of here. Go find runway 9. Air hauler's got us. Might have to taxi down to the end of the runway. I was just looking. I hate when I have to do that. I like to be able to just get out of the runway and just fly on out. Like if we taxied down the runway right there, we could probably get out, but I don't like taxiing on runways, so I'm gonna have to come down here. We gotta cross 30 and 12. I think then there's a taxiway, yeah, just on the other side. It looks like we're good there. Get my hand on these controls. Because, you know, right there, you could take off, but is there enough runway? Is the problem. Let's take another look. Because I was looking as I started up, and I just didn't think that there was going to be enough runway. It gets up to speed really quick. The only other thing we could do is take off right there. We'll taxi on down to there, I guess. The only thing is, you know, we're so full with cargo, we don't have a ton of fuel, but we got a lot of cargo for weight. I feel it's taking a ton of power just to get her moving here. So, since we have so much weight, I'd be a little worried about the distance. You know, I do think she would have been able to get up. I'm gonna get a little fast here. Get on over to Jacksonville, unload this stuff, and we'll start creating some emergency housing. Let's work on that mission rep. Like I said, we don't get paid. But, I mean, it's all good. It'll get our mission rep up. And I'll have Caitlin start doing some commodity stuff. From trading, that'll bring in some good money. Heck, some of those, it brings in more than the freaking cargo jobs. Like if she can carry 3,000 pounds of something and get $10 a pound, You'll make 30 grand. That's more than a lot of the cargo jobs, actually. Alright, so we'll take this taxiway right here. Taxiway A. And we won't do the run up. We'll have to check it. There's a couple things we gotta do. Run up not standing. 27 and 9. I've already got the heading in there. Which is 093, I do believe. Alright, we'll stop her right here. Alright, so let's check this out. Engine run up, like I said, we're not going to do that. For takeoff checklist, seatbelts no smoking, signs are on, fuel selectors are on. Inboard, you can see them both here at inboard. Let's see, fuel quantity, less than half is sufficient. Mixtures and props, both are full forward. Flaps, check and set to 0. Let's just make sure that they actually do work. So that's good. Autopilot is off. Surface de-ice is off. That's the far one over here. That is off. Pitot and prop heat, all that is on. Windshield heat is also on. Avionics as required. I'm going to go ahead and turn my transponder on. Heading is good. And let's make sure. Actually, it says now we're on GPS. Direction indicator is set. Radar is required. Transponder is required. Controls. Let's check the controls real quick. Looks good. Rudder pedals looks good. Emergency fuel pumps on. Air conditioning is off. I have the fan on. Prop sync we don't know anything about. Parking brake released. I'm not going to release it just yet. There's something I wanted to do. A couple things I know I got to do. That on, that on. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Let's get this set real quick. And let's get messages off. Just to make sure. There we go. And let's turn them off here as well. That looks good. Move the autopilot over here and resize it. Alright, works for me. Looks like we're clear here, clear here. Let's go ahead and get on the runway. Don't know if we need to hold the brakes like it says. Well, that was for the run-up. I can't remember if it says that for takeoff or not. Pretty sure it does because it says to the 43 on manifold. We'll just go ahead and take off. Rotating around 85 knots. Yeah, she's taking a lot further than last time when we were empty. There's 85 knots. Come on, girl, rotate. Positive rate, gears coming up. Remember to climb out's 104. You can see you got to bring the nose down for 104. You can totally tell that we have so much more cargo, so much more weight than last time. All right, obstacles are all cleared. Let's bring her down to about 40. Warning to say it was 75. Yep, 2400 on the RPM. Let me get my nose back down. I had to let go of the yoke there to do that. Alright, we can increase our vertical speed a little bit now. Gotta look at these procedures again. Cowl flaps is required. Emergency fuel pumps can come off. Air conditioner is required. Let's say, turn the air conditioning on. We'll say it's hot down here. Alright, let's turn to the left. And head on back to Jacksonville, Florida. I want to take a look out here in a second. Let's go ahead and hit it to heading, bring her around to the left. Now hit nav. There's those daggone cooling towers. Killing me. We'll go ahead and hit nav. Let's see, vertical speed, we'll put you about 7 for the time being. And let me check here, desired track 006. That's 7 and 6. Alright, we'll increase that to 8 for the time being. Let's go ahead and lean her out. Put it at 80 for the time being. For the max, I think is 1500. We're not anywhere close to that. Everything looks good there. For the climbing speed is about 104 knots. Let's go to 9. See what she does. Really flat. I kind of like the area though. I like, you know, having the water and everything. Lots of water in Florida. It's a nice little airport. I mean, it has a pretty good runway at 6,000 feet. I don't think it would serve any purpose for a base for us or anything, but it's a nice airport. Look that up in FS Economy or something. Move my vertical speed down to 800 feet a minute as our speed is coming down a little bit. Let's put her down to 7 actually. Just make sure we don't get too slow. Coming up on 3,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn the taxi light off. The speed looks good there. Lean her out, do a better job than last time. We run her probably a little rich last time. Because I leaned her out at the beginning, but then kind of stopped. We're about 47 miles out, so we'll go up to about 6,500 or so if we make it that high. But I'm going to speed her up real quick and be right back. Alright, everybody's slowing down here. We're a little high. Airport's over here. I didn't even think about typing in the ILS. I think it's like 110.7 if we actually wanted it. Pull down on the power here. I think it's 110.7 if we need it. If I remember correctly, some of this doesn't actually work. You have to like use this one over here. Yeah. $110.7. Switch that over. And well, we'll leave that for heading right now. I'll pull back on the power. Reset my altimeter real quick. I was gonna say we're high, but we're actually pretty much on it. We're actually a little low now. Oh, look at this guy. We got traffic. We got traffic. Heading of the runway is 077. Let's hit nav here. I actually got it on 077. That's kind of crazy. I was going to say we gotta set that here in a second. We have to click the heading button before we do it. Let's go ahead and hold our altitude right here. Increase the power just a bit. Now we're coming up a little better on the glide slope, actually. I don't know if this has approach hold. Actually, it does have approach hold. I'm going to go ahead and click that. I don't know if it's going to work if we're close enough to the glide slope or not. Yeah, it looks like she's coming down a bit. We're a bit high. We'll pull back on the power. Let's go ahead and put the flaps out. Emergency fuel pumps coming on. All of our lights are on. Mixture is full forward. Should be good. Need to go ahead and bring that speed down. Now we're coming down a little hard here. You can see that's the glide slope right there. Autopilot coming off. I don't know why that all of a sudden happened. I thought we were following it, but apparently not. That was odd. It looked like everything was good and all of a sudden dropped down like crazy. Increase the power because we're still descending a little bit. Flaps coming out. Let's go full flaps. Now we're coming back on it. We need to work on our speed as well. We're coming in too quick. See, I don't want to descend like that. See, that got us all out of whack. So we need to like try and trim it. Increase the power here. Trying to hold our altitude. Trying to fly her down a little bit. Off the power. Nope, being not. It says greaser. We were pitched up too much. That it was hard to. Flaps were being retracted, by the way. It's really hard to reset myself. Didn't have enough room to it. Felt like. I guess we actually could have gone down one more and wouldn't have to sit behind this guy. AirTran? I can't tell who it is. United? No, it is AirTran. I just didn't have enough room. I should have gotten on the power earlier to get my altitude back up. Then I would have really had time. Just, Transponder off. So I did record. Again, I thought I had forgotten about it. Yeah, I should have gotten on the power earlier to try and get my altitude back up, because we were really coming down there. And I kept descending. Like, I would stop for a second and then descend again. I should have just kept on the power. What are you doing? You are just all over the place, buddy. Good night. Because I don't want to go all the way. I'm trying to go over in here. So I thought he was going to go on down to the right or something, so I was just going to go on by him, and he's like making that huge, weird-ass turn. Off the power. I'm going to take that turn too fast. Oh, we've got a smaller plane over here. That's nice. That's our... Wait, that's Caitlin. How is Caitlin? She should already be here easy. That's our Chieftain. Oh, she hasn't left yet? Wait, how has she not left yet? That's our Chieftain, yo. Dude, that's us. That's Caitlin. That's crazy. When we were flying the Duke down here at Jacksonville, we had Caitlin take off in front of us one time. That's so awesome. I'm surprised. How is she just now taking off, though? And she stopped right by us. I hate it when people do that. That's so awesome. That's Caitlin. That's our 350, our Chieftain 350. The other one. How messed up is that? That's so weird. That's so awesome. I love that. And she actually paid attention to us. She knew we were there. Yeah, we had her take off before we took off, and we've already landed. She hasn't even gotten out of here yet. That's craziness. I love seeing our traffic in here, our planes. Just want to kind of look at something. That's pretty good. Let's see here. There we go. Now again, they don't really tell us how to shut down. Taxi light, you can come off. Turn everything off. Pitot heat, windshield heat, all that off. We're idle. Let's go ahead and bring those down. And cut the fuel. Mags can come off. Oh, all lights can be off. Circuit breakers for the alternators can come off. Alright, everything is off. Air hauler 2 once again. Finish that. Ready to stop flight monitoring? Yes. Alright, greaser took 25 minutes. Took off at 5, landed at 5:25. Takeoff fuel 246.9 pounds, landed with 147.79. Max altitude 6,506 feet. Max pitch negative 16.47. Max roll negative 24.99. Max speed 161.5 knots. Minimum G's 0.86. Minimum G's exceeds 0. Max G's 1.26. Max G's exceeds 0. Stall false. Overspeed false. Landing description greaser. Gear down true. Land on concrete. No damage to the runway or the plane. Came down at a nice little 77.17 feet a minute. Landing speed 83.86 knots. Landing pitch negative 5.28. Yeah, we were pitched up too much. Landing roll 1.34. Landing heading 77.47. Wind speed 6. Direction 165. Come on, air hauler 2. There you go. There you go. Let's go ahead and unload this. The building materials. Yes, we want to store it there. And we've got about 15,000 left for the storage. I don't know if that might include finished products too. I'm not really sure. So let's look at our factories here. Stock and manufacturing. I don't know if it says it's pending. and quantity of 10,000. I don't know if that's going to give us 5,000. How much is that exactly? I wish it would tell us exactly how much we have in there. Emergency housing. Sweet. So I would like to know how much plastics and stuff we actually have. Doesn't really tell us. Add ship stock, chemicals, building materials. So it doesn't list that there's any plastics here. And why aren't you? I don't know why that's pending. Might take a little bit of time for. I don't know why it isn't producing anything right now. So I was gonna go ahead and see how much we could produce of the emergency housing, but it would take like 6 minutes. But I don't know how much we have of the plastics. That's gonna kind of hold me back a little bit. I'll probably have to do that offline, because I want our next one to be going down to St. Martin to deliver this stuff. So just so you know, this is how it happens. Click on exactly what we want to produce. Like that. Plastics. So that's kind of weird. We didn't have to do this last time. We just, yeah, manufacture, but so if I want to produce, obviously, emergency housing, we need our plastics, which we'll have, and our building materials. So that's how we'll do it, and then it'll be here. And then we'll load it up, and we'll take it to St. Martin. That'll be in the next episode. Like I say, everything, we'll go ahead and produce everything. I like to do it showing you all, but since obviously it's going to take a little bit, plus it's 10,000, so it'll take a little while anyway. That's how it's done. Because I can't believe I did a airplane construction facility in the last episode instead of a freaking factory, and waited 10 days when the factory is immediate. It's so ridiculous. Nah, but you know, you play and you learn as you go. Alright, everybody. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope y'all did like it, and I'll see you guys on the next flight.